Lisa Sheldon, I'm a librarian at McIntosh Memorial Library. And today with me is Amy Ducharme. Thank you so much for being here today, Amy, and thank you to all of our guests who have made it here today as well. So let's start off and ask Amy, could you introduce yourself, Amy, and let us know about all the good work that you're doing?
Hello, my name is Amy Ducharme. I am a registered dietitian. I work primarily in the WIC program in the Vernon County Health Department. And I'm here today just to talk a little bit about WIC.
Super, that's awesome. And Amy and I are sitting in the same room, so that's really fun too. The library, with all of our programming that we're offering, we're doing our best to offer it in a myriad of different ways. So there are people watching through Facebook Live right now, people in Zoom, and also people here in person. So we are doing what we can to make programming available to everybody. And today, Amy is going to also be sharing with us a slideshow that she made to present about WIC. You want to start off with that?
Sure, that would be great. But for sure, put in that I really, you know, we all have had death by PowerPoint at some point in our lives, but really to have an open dialogue. So as we're going through this, these are just high points to talk about. So please whether you're here in person or you're online, interject questions whenever you would like, and we'll just roll with it and let it go where it goes.
Hey, that sounds great. All right, let me just go in here. There we go. Can you see this here? WIC plus you? Yeah, great. All right, Amy, this is beautiful.
Thanks. It's always about food. It comes up many times in the presentation. So we're here for one main objective, and that is what is WIC. So of course I have to put the formal definition of WIC in before we kind of let it roll. It's a special supplemental nutrition program for women, infant, and children's, popularly known as WIC, which is what most people have heard of. It's a nutrition program for pregnant women, new moms, families, and children younger than 5. Our goal is to keep parents and caregivers and children under the age of 5 healthy in a community and improve long-term health outcomes and food security for families. And really, that's what this is about. I mean, the whole series is about food security and not only addressing it, but I think part of it is just making it known, because I feel like there's a lot of inequities and a lot of things that people don't know that need within the community. So it's really, last week, Joy speaking, or Monday, Joy speaking was really a good program.
Yes, I was going to mention that, you know, when I was developing the Creating Community Beyond Biases Library Resources monthly calendar for the year, I was wondering, you know, what would be a great fit for August, because I was looking for something for August. And so I thought, well, let it be about understanding food security versus food insecurity, and also highlighting the garden that was put in across the street, the library's garden, which is an educational and equitable donation garden, and why we decided to do that. And I think that is also, it ties into, you know, what you're doing at WIC, Amy, and that's about educating people towards equity imbalances and also rising above that, and what are the solutions.
Yeah, for sure. The long-term solutions that that can be maintained. The second bullet on there, and this is the only thing I'll ever read again, but the program supports parents and caregivers. And I'll really focus on the caregivers part. We'll talk about that later, not just parents and their children during a critical time of growth and development through 4 core services: information and education on healthy eating, breastfeeding support, referrals to healthcare and other resources, and nutritious foods. And so that's kind of our 4 pillars that we always call it in any WIC program. And that it's all free.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's how it ought to be.
Yeah, for sure. if you want to go to the next one, yeah. But I like to say we are so much more than that. If you've ever been to WIC, you know that we don't just talk about food. However, I would love to do that all day, but so I'll go through just a little bit of who we are. We'll talk about eligibility for WIC and those little focus on the 4 pillars. So if you're considering coming in, you can understand kind of what we do or what to expect. And then the collective impact we have with partners in the community too.
Great.
So when you come into WIC, we're in the health department. Who you typically see are registered dietitians. So myself and Megan are registered dietitians. Pretty much what you would see if you went into a hospital and you were diagnosed with diabetes or had a cardiac event. And we do nutrition counseling at that point. We're also both of us certified as breastfeeding specialists. So if a mom is struggling with breastfeeding, we can help with that. We also have a breastfeeding program that we do pumps with. We'll talk a little bit about in a few slides more. We have a support staff. We have one Wonder Woman named Margie, and she is the one going to attest to that. She keeps us all on board and going on track. So, and then we have breastfeeding care specialists in the community, and these are women that are currently breastfeeding or breastfed until maybe older, and they are more relatable to moms.
Right.
So Megan and I handle clinical, maybe physical problems with breastfeeding, where they're there. They have worked with current pumps. They're way more and a little more age friendly to try to help meet the needs of the people that are breastfeeding. I mean, I'm in my 50s, so I'm past breastfeeding. So, and sometimes other places have nurses. We used to have a nurse as well, but we currently don't.
Let's talk about where in Vernon County is WIC located?
We hold 2 clinics. So pre-COVID, we had a Verona clinics. We're in the basement of the Erlinson building for a week, and that's where people came for appointments. And then the next week we go all over Vernon County. So we go along the river. We're in Genoa, DeSoto, Stoddard. We're on the other end of the county. We go to Hillsborough. We go to Lafarge, Ontario, where we bring an interpreter in and we have Hispanic appointments. So we travel. We load up the van and we go.
That's awesome.
So,
I did not realize that part. So essentially, wherever you are in Vernon County, you're only at any given time on a day, like within a certain radius of Amy and her team that are able to bring WIC services to your township, small town, or even the city of Verona. That's awesome.
It is.
That's great.
That is, I mean, transportation is a real issue, and we are a food desert for a reason. We have food all around us,
right?
But you necessarily can't access it if you don't have a car or you don't have a reliable car. So that's something I think that people need to be aware of, that there are resources, but unless you have the ability to use those resources, you can't really. So for sure.
Let's get here to the next slide. Oh, this is so sweet.
Yeah, who can be a part of WIC? So pregnant, breastfeeding, and postpartum moms, you don't have to be breastfeeding. Children up to their 5th birthday, and then infants. And then this one I had to put in because I think just with our name, it kind of implies that we're only for women, but we really aren't. We have dads that have full custody of their kids. While we can't give them a food package, their children can still be covered and get a food package. We have plenty of grandparents on that have custody of their children as well, or are the primary caregivers.
Right.
And then we have foster parents. Once a child goes into the foster system, even if they're adopted from the birth family into that parent, into the foster family permanently, they are still always eligible for WIC.
That's great.
Regardless of the income of the adoptive family.
I see. Okay.
So, and then guardians, legal guardians, that can be anybody through the court system that becomes a guardian. Kinship care is another example. If you have a family member caring for a child, lots of people don't really understand that. So we try to get the word out that, hey, if you have one of those kids, we can help. So.
Absolutely. Amy, I think this is just so amazing because even within the first 6 slides, it's already really clear to me that WIC is above and beyond what people may think that they know about that, right? And so really, really happy to get the word out there that WIC is so much more, right? Yeah, that's great.
Another one of those, try to help understanding. It is Vernon County WIC. You'll see our logo out there, but you don't have to live in Vernon County. We have people that live in Monroe County, Grant County, Crawford County, and even a few lacrosse people that come to Vernon County WIC, whether they've got to know us, they have family here, so they just come and visit and have their WIC appointment. So just know that you may live on you may live in Grove or something, that you're in the Crawford County line. You can always come to Vernon County WIC. Also, you can also transfer. So you can go out of Vernon County and go to Crawford if that's more convenience. Really, we look at it as what's doable for your family.
Yeah.
What do you have going on? Where did you move? Where are your kids in daycare? We've transferred people from project to project just because they have to go pick up their kids at their mother-in-law's house or something like that. So know that we can be flexible, whether it's our office or Crawford County or whatever WIC office. But the only requirement is you have to live in Wisconsin.
Got it. Well, that's awesome. That seems really accommodating and meeting people where they're at with their needs. It
You
just
bet.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Great.
How to qualify. So you need to be pregnant, postpartum, breastfeeding, postpartum or formula feeding, and then under the age of 5. So you can also, in addition to that, you can be income eligible, but and we'll get to that, but you can also be what's called adjunct eligible. So if you're on food share, Medicaid, Badger Care, which is how we probably do most of our adjunct eligibility, W-2, TAMP, or a food distribution program, we call FDP. Any of those makes you adjunct eligible for WIC. So we can just take those income requirements and push them right off to the side and say, oh, you already qualify because you're already on that.
Excellent.
So, yeah, and it simplifies the process for us quite a bit too.
And in the office building that you're in, the Vernon County Health Department is there as well. So for people who are interested in these services, they'd be able to be in contact with people there.
Yep, for sure. Right below us is Human Services. So that's like registration for Badger Care.
Yep.
We do, and we'll get to it in a further slide, but we do a lot of referrals and a lot of resources. We are a nutrition program, but I would say I spend half and half time, half nutrition, other half is just providing other services that people need, whatever they have going on. And Human Services is down below, Family Children Centers in the community. It's good.
That's really wonderful. Well, here we go. And right here in this area, folks, there's a lot of services. Amy's a lovely person. Head over there and have a chat with her and find out a whole lot more. Let's keep going.
This is the income requirements. This is also online, and we'll have contact information at the end. So you just gauge your family size. One note about that, if I'm a pregnant woman and let's say I have another child in the house, count yourself pregnant as 2 already. So then you would be a household of 3 if you have one other outside child. So if that helps with income, it's gross. So you don't have to count any outside other income. And again, this is on our website. And even if you do a random Google search, it's out there to see for sure. And how to apply. So we're a little bit old school in the sense we don't have an online form to register. So you can call that number. You will get Margie Extraordinaire, and she will answer the phone. And we're doing all phone appointments now because of COVID.
Sure.
So it's really easy process. We send documents back and forth just by phone and texting. So it's like you don't even have to scan or send anything in. You can also email us to reach out, and that's at wic@vernoncounty.org. Or you can visit in person, but with COVID times, our building is still open. We just ask that you wear a mask.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy process.
There we go. So that's phone number is 608-637-5260. Email is wic@vernoncounty.org.
So let's talk a little bit about what to expect, just in general from us in the four pillars. So we'll start with the personalized nutrition education. Breastfeeding we'll hit quite a bit on, probably And then the healthy foods, like what's actually in a food package, so everybody understands that. And then our resources that we offer. So the first one is nutrition ed. When you have an appointment in WIC, everything again now is on the phone, but normally we would sit down and talk about individualized nutrition plans for a person, wherever they're at. Sometimes it's nutritional needs postpartum. I mean, 9 months to grow a baby inside of you, it takes 9 months to recover from it. Every time a pregnant woman didn't get enough calcium in, her body took it from the bones, her own bones. So she, when you come out of delivery, calcium intake is pretty important. So we sit down and look at where mom was. Did she have a lot of bleeding during delivery? Is she low iron? Does she struggle with postpartum depression, which is very real and needs to be recognized? And is just a dysregulation in hormones. But we try to, solidify it and get some help. So no matter what the problem, we sit down, even beyond nutrition, and have an appointment and talk about that.
Amy, in March, it was the library acknowledged Women's History Month, and in that month, I organized for a panel of local midwives, whether they be at a birthing center, at the hospital, or at home birth, and our local doula. And we had a panel and we were talking about all sorts of topics, but this postpartum nutritional care came up a bit in that, and just the need for postpartum care. So it's really wonderful to see. Like that is a part of WIC. It's wonderful.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. And we do handouts as well. Some people, they're not comfortable sitting and that's understandable. So we have some good handouts that are to the point. If I'm a busy mom and I have 3 kids, I've got to, a lot of times if I'm working 2 jobs, I have 3 kids, my life is chaos. So if I have a quick pamphlet, I can just see really quick, what do I need to eat to increase my iron? Right. It's pretty straightforward. So we try to meet people where they're at and how they learn to, for sure.
Absolutely.
Breastfeeding support. I think this is probably the most unknown thing in WIC, because WIC at times has been known for formula, because we do issue formula as part of a food package, but we also have a very strong breastfeeding program. Like I said before, Megan and I are lactation consultants, just like you would see if you delivered in the hospital.
Right.
We have breastfeeding peer counselors, so women out in the community that can mentor and support women. In our culture, in our society, we've lost the handed down skill of breastfeeding. And so many moms didn't watch their mothers. They didn't watch their aunts breastfeed. Right. And this younger generation is stepping up. They are breastfeeding. They're breastfeeding in public. Yeah. They understand that it's a good thing, So we're there to support them with the peer program. We also have a pump program, as you'll see. We have commercial grade pumps, hospital grade pumps that moms can use. Sometimes they need that level of a pump if they have twins or having some problems. Right. So we loan those out. Wow. At no cost. And then we can also give out free pumps. We do a lot of helping moms get pumps through other access to a lot of guidance of how to get them through their HMOs. So that's step-by-step process. That is quite the service. Yeah. And then we are partnered with VMH to do a program called The Tribe. It meets at VMH in the basement. It's a breastfeeding support group. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. However, because of COVID, we haven't had it for over a year. So, but it is, I think, the only formal breastfeeding support group in the community. So hoping to get that back real soon once COVID goes away. So super good to have other moms be able to mentor other moms. And as practitioners, we sat and stepped back in that group and just watched. Yeah. And it was really great. So
how about that? More details coming soon.
The second leg, or third leg, is healthy foods. So for those that don't know, SNAP, you just get a dollar amount and you can buy anything with a food label. For WIC, it's a little different. It's specific foods. So, and you see the list there: milk, eggs, peanut butter, whole grain bread, pasta, tortilla, or brown rice, dried beans, cereal, juice, tuna, cheese, yogurt, and then dollars to just buy whatever fresh fruit or vegetable that you would like. And then they can also be organic as well. And then for infants, they get jarred foods at 6 months, cereal and formula. And also we coordinate with physicians in the community if babies need specialty formulas that might have some gut issues that aren't able to consume regular formulas.
Right.
So, and yeah, and then also seasonally, we do farmers market vouchers. This year it was $30. So every WIC participant can take these paper vouchers to the farmers market, and that Viroqua was going. I walked through one time, I found 4 farmers that you could give participants could give their vouchers to. I was in Grove and did a farmer training. And there was 4 there as well.
That's great.
So, yep. And so they can get vegetables that way.
And the McIntosh Memorial Library is working on a program with for farmers market here in Viroqua. So if the library booth is set up at the farmers market, WIC participants can come by and show their voucher.
Yeah.
And they also receive a bag with a free board book in it and some baby toy in it as well. So another great reason to come to the Viroqua Farmers Market.
Yeah, fun. And then healthcare referrals. So if we're in clinic, we coordinate with NICU staff if a baby is, let's say, premature coming out. We have direct line with the dietitian that handles baby's care in the NICU typically, and can just do that continuum of care again, which everybody strives for in the healthcare world. We also refer out if we do hemoglobin tests in clinic, which is optional. Moms can do it. If you're low iron, I can refer out to your healthcare provider and say, hey, you know, this is going on. Try to help get prenatal health care. If a mom comes to us and doesn't have health care, we can try to help find that for her affordable health care, and do many other things. Smoking cessation program, we have birth to 3, referrals, Head Start, water testing, which is, I do want to touch on this one specifically a little bit along with the health department too. For moms, maybe mixing formula, moms that are pregnant drinking water. A lot of people are on private wells in Vernon County, and it can be somewhat dangerous. We have some bacteria issues, and nitrates can also be high in drinking water. So we offer free well test kits if you're pregnant or under 1. In Wisconsin, you can get a water test kit.
That sounds
so we do a lot of that. I try really hard to make sure moms are aware of that. And it's their choice whether they want to use it or not, but it's definitely available.
Yeah, really important.
You bet. We also have radon kits. And then the last one is probably our biggest hitter, I would say, is dental services. Badger Care Dental Services really need some help. So we have a list of providers, of dentists that we go through every year and update and make sure that they're taking patients. There's not a 2-year wait. And so people can try to get dental care. It's really hard to keep up your nutrition if your teeth hurt you.
That's true.
I had a pregnant mom come in one time and she had an abscess in a tooth. And so you can't eat if you're in that much pain. So we try really hard to do emergency referrals out for dental also, as well as just providing direction on when a child is 2 or 3, when you get them in, and good oral care to keep up nutrition. So
absolutely. So here's another reference to the what WIC is and more, and so much more. So good.
We've had some changes too. So used to be the old school paper vouchers that people would take into the store. Absolutely not that way anymore. We have an EBT card, and we have an app that goes along with it that your benefits are live. So if you walk into the store and you buy 3 gallons of milk, you can see that when you walk out of the store, you see that off the list of benefits. So it's very easy to use. We can also scan items and see if they're WICable. We do phone and online appointments right now because of COVID. I don't know how that's going to be, if it's going to hold after COVID or not, but I know there's telehealth considerations. But we don't know. We're assuming, my heart hopes that we go back to seeing people in person, because I tell you what, there's whole kids. I'm looking, there's whole kids I don't even know, and I really do. We're asking now people to send us pictures when we do appointments over the phone, because it's like,
right. Well, typically if you are starting to work with a mom, she's prenatal, you'll know that her before the baby's born, when the baby's born, and then up to age 5. So that's a lot of like long-term, that connection throughout the years. And what a wonderful person to be connected to.
Yeah, it is. It's going out in the community is even different now that COVID relaxed, because I think I know moms now, but I don't recognize babies anymore. So and then appointment text reminders. We do reminders and make it easy. It's a crazy busy world, and I bury my texts just like the next person. So we are pretty good about getting reminders out there to help people remember that, hey, even if it's a 5-minute, we just got to make a connection for a 5-minute phone call, see what you got going on, if you're having any problems, and then we're good.
Okay.
And just more information. This is my contact info and the website. If you go to the Vernon County Health Department, just click on WIC, you'll be able to get more information and see that income guidelines. But also, if you're not in Vernon County, or it would just suit you better to go to La Crosse County because you work there or something like that, that second link takes you to all the projects by county. So you can see and, go take it steps further. Like if you're in Crawford, you just want to see where their clinics are, try to help. So it might not make such a big difference now, because in COVID world, we do things by the phone, but when we get back in person, I feel like it just needs to be convenient for families.
That's it.
So, and that's it. Thanks for letting me speak today.
It's just one short one. Come back to it. Again, this is Amy Ducharme. She's doing a nice back screen here. Here's Amy.
Oh yeah, double view.
So Amy Ducharme here with me today at the library, talking to us about WIC, and it's really so incredible, Amy. Wanting to meet you, I think I have very high regards for you and respect for the work you're doing. And that's, getting out there the word that WIC is so much more than what people may even think. Within, the slides that we've shown today, there's referrals for many, many different services. For eligible participants, it seems like a great thing. We feel proud of the work we're doing, and encourage everybody out there to reach out to Amy. You can also reach here to me and I'm at the library, and I can put you in contact with Amy too as well.
Yeah, thank you. I feel very blessed to be in this community, for sure.
Thanks again, Amy.
See ya. Have a good day. Bye.